What's up? All right, so we're gonna watch the Fortnite storyline because I have no idea what's going on.
6 years in the making, and in that time we followed a journey that ties every single event, season, and character together.
Okay, I need to know. I need to know what's going on.
There's one thing that has always remained constant. It has stood the test of time as wars have been fought above it, supervillains have tried to steal it, and it is destabilized way too often. From the first appearance in the Butterfly event,
here we go.
now being the key of Chapter 5, this is the entire Fortnite storyline explained.
In 45 minutes.
So many things have changed since our first video, but not where this story started.
What's up, sis? What's going on?
Not
much.
When there was a big bang. It formed every single universe in an instant, and at the center of it all was Reality Zero. It's here where the Big Bang left behind a huge mass of energy, and instead of spreading it out, the energy compressed itself into an orb we call the Zero Point.
So the Big Bang created the 0 point.
Every single reality in existence.
Okay, so it's like a multiverse thing.
And that's what makes it so incredibly powerful.
All right, so that's the 0 point. Now I understand.
Anyone who tried to wield this power, and this is where the island is created. On the surface,
the island was created by the 0 point.
With a fake sky,
oh, I've seen that.
As a huge bubble in space and time. Anyone who tried to visit this island would either be wiped out by the storm's defenses or manipulated by the 0 point
Batman?
strange effects.
The fuck?
Until one man came along. Against all of the odds, he captured control.
Make sure y'all smack that like button.
Its power. We know him as Geno. The odds, he captured control of the orb and began
what?
to wield its power. We know him as Geno.
Oh, so that's Geno.
Who was obsessed with perfection.
I heard that name
also
before.
Leader of a medieval kingdom known as the Oathbound. During his time ruling as a champion, Geno started to experiment with future technologies. We're not sure how he discovered the 0 point, but once it was located, he instantly realized its full potential.
It's too low? Oh, my bad. I was trying to make it a little low so y'all can hear me and I don't get drowned out by the audio. This should be a better audio.
His long-term vision was to create the perfect society, and his time with the Oathbound was just phase 1 of his true destiny. With the orb, he knew that if he could see how every reality was made and what was different about each one, he could use that information to truly create perfection.
True.
So one day, he left behind his homeworld.
In a way.
Geno wanted the kingdom to not lose their leader. In his place, he left behind a clone of himself known as a snapshot. There's still more research to be done into how snapshots truly work, but we do know they're created when someone leaves the loop. Originally, the loop worked very differently, but once Geno got his hands on it, he began to sculpt it for his own evil intentions. So along with the mysterious inner circle, Geno set out to create a new organization known as the Imagined Order. The headquarters are built around the 0 point, with this location being codenamed the Bridge. With the newfound power, the IO were able to control the effects of the storm, alter people's memories, even unlock immortality. Now to recruit people for the perfect society, the IO created the Loop. It's a program that forces people to fight each other, but to make it a fair battle, it removes your memory, ability to speak, and every 22 minutes, you fight all over again. It sounds like a great way to judge people, but no one would ever agree to this. So they started kidnapping subjects from countless realities. It was working perfectly. As more fighters proved themselves, Geno offered them immortality in return for joining the Imagined Order. Not only that, their whole family could live on the island and experience the same benefits.
I would quit my job.
To see towns and houses on the map. Not everyone is as lucky though. In fact, some IO guards don't even know they had a previous life. Their memories got wiped as they're forced to know only one thing: how to protect the order. Thousands of years later, the organization had grown massively and mostly went under the radar until they kidnapped the wrong people. Those who were way too intelligent for the loop and managed to escape it without consequences. This unlikely group of vigilantes are from all corners of the universe, and despite being very different, they have one goal: destroying the Imagined Order and liberating the 0 point. We know them as the Seven.
The Seven. Chapter 1, the beginning. Okay, now everything's starting to make sense. I'm not going to pause it so much, but everything's starting to make sense to me now.
People living on the island look up to the sky. Something is approaching. They rush to grab a telescope, getting a closer look at the object shooting towards them. It's a meteor. Panic ensues as they try to predict where it'll hit, with some villagers thinking it's aliens or an extraterrestrial visitor, and if only they knew how right they were. In April, TVs around the island begin to show an emergency broadcast to prepare for the collision. As the meteor gets closer and closer, they brace for impact.
Oh. Damn. Fortnite jokes.
A huge crater is left in the ground as the Imagined Order rushes to investigate.
So that's where that crate came from.
Facility at the crash site, disguising themselves as the government. Well, unfortunately for them, they weren't fast enough. A mysterious character breaks out of the meteor and escapes the facility, and this is our first introduction to the Visitor. He's on a mission to test the capabilities of their airtight suits, which we learn later on protects them from the effects of the loop. It's a success as he steals a rocket from a film set and converts it to rift.
That's what that event was for?
This was supposed to be a harmless mission, Instead, it began the Fortnite storyline as we know it, a simple rift that would ultimately invite pure evil to the island and kickstart 6 years of bloodshed and war.
Wow.
So before the visitor's rift can close, a dark energy emerges. It's a cube? Well, this
No, that's
may
the
look
cube.
relatively harmless. It
The
glows.
cube
A
came
dark
from the
energy
rift?
Emerges. It's a cube? Well, this may look relatively harmless. It has the power to destroy the island in a single blow. It's bright purple flowing with corruption, which spreads to anyone who touches it. And so this cube begins to roll around the island, leaving behind runes while searching for its target, the 0 point. Eventually, the search leads it to Loot Lake, where the cube begins to destabilize.
Oh, and that's why the island lifted?
The 0 point is barely able to defend itself, and within months, it's already facing a new threat. A huge shard of ice crashes into the island, bringing a harsh winter with it and a mysterious castle of unknown
that's where that
origin.
shit came
It belongs
from.
to a power-hungry ice king who we learn has plenty of prisoners. One of them is trapped in blocks of ice, and as the fragment crashes into the island, he's able to break free. With the chains gone, he's revealed to be the Fire King, a rival who is equally
Fire
as
King.
powerful. Both of them want to take the island for themselves. As opposite elements, they can't survive the climate of this place. So, the Ice King covers the island in snow, cooling the temperature
By the way, y'all can hear me talking while the video's going. Like, it sounds just as good as I do right now.
to his liking. His arch nemesis responds, stealing dragon eggs from the dungeon and using them to create a small army of hybrids. It's enough for him to fight back and create a huge volcano that'll destroy Polar Peak. But before his plan comes to fruition, the Ice King defeats him in a war. With the
So these
prisoner
mysterious
frozen in
beings come from the
ocean for good.
cubes.
Well, fortunately for him, the volcano defeats him in a war, with the prisoner frozen in the ocean for good. Well, fortunately for him, the volcano still erupts, sending fireballs hurling at the island's biggest cities, and of course, the castle. It breaches the iceberg, unleashing a monster that was secretly kept in the deepest dungeon.
Oh, hell no.
It immediately breaks free, and the Imagined Order don't really care. They're perfectly fine with the monster damaging the island. As
Didn't I
long
see
as it
this
doesn't
before?
touch the 0 point.
That a
solution
kaiju
is to
battle in
create a
Fortnite?
doomsday weapon that'll wipe out everyone on the surface, including the monster. Well, that's when a prisoner of their own speaks up. The Paradigm, a member of the Seven, explains that
Paradigm,
they
I know
can't
that
just let
name.
everyone die, so she offers a better solution: to pilot
Oh,
a
the-
giant
the-
robot
the
and kill
bear,
monster
the
herself.
thing.
They reluctantly move forward with the plan, constructing the
Yeah,
mech
I
to
did
the
see this
hollowed-out
before.
volcano. It is time for the final showdown.
I've seen more Fortnite events than I thought I've seen. I mean, I did play it when it started to come out, so it's only understandable that I've seen every event. I just didn't see the Galactus event, which pisses me off.
And in the ultimate live event, Paradigm slays the monster with the sword. The rotting corpse is left on the island. She knows that if she sticks around, the IO will recapture her, so she begins her escape, flying directly upwards into space. Her new mission: investigate where the monster came from. When they learn about this, the Seven are furious. They think she betrayed them by working with the IO, and after her escape, it's radio silence. Pretty quick, they learn that a robot was crashed into a nearby planet called the Ice.
Is that Iron
The
Man?
temperature is simply way too cold for a human to survive, so she must have never made it. And that brings us back to the island, where the Imagined Order has bigger problems than their prisoner
Fortnite has
escaping.
comics?
Before the monster was killed by Paradigm, it broke into the 0 Point's vault. Grabbing the orb, she used it to stun the Devourer, but this left the 0 Point exposed, and it was these
Hang on. Somebody used a code word in the chat. Move! I hate that stupid bar. There we go. Yep. There we go.
stabilizing fast. As it begins to implode, the Imagined Order has no hope of saving it, but luckily someone else does. The Seven are sworn protectors of the 0 Point. Time itself is breaking down, bringing the meteor and other locations from the past to the island. Out of the new meteor emerges our latest member, the Scientist, who here another
They lost me.
power, but this left the 0 Point exposed, and it was destabilized.
They lost me.
And their prisoner escaping. Before the monster was killed by Paradigm, it broke into the 0 Point's vault. Grabbing the orb, she used it to stun the Devourer, but this left the 0 Point exposed, and it was destabilizing fast. As it begins to implode, the Imagined Order has no hope of saving it, but luckily someone else does. The Seven are sworn protectors of the 0 Point. Time itself is breaking down, bringing the meteor and
remember
other
this.
locations from the past to the island. Out of the new meteor emerges our latest member, the Scientist, who is already preparing a plan to save reality.
Scientist.
He builds these rift beacons around the island, using their power to gather resources and prepare the other members of the Seven for their plan. Together, they'll use rifts to unpause time.
So what I'm
and
getting
jump
is the
start 0
IO's
Point into
evil because they created the
stabilizing.
loop.
But
The
for that
Seven's trying to
work,
stop
they
them
need the
and get the 0 Point. And then this cube created different beings, like this monster. It's causing all these 0 Point fuck-ups and more rifts to show up. Okay. Starting to get the basic idea. It's so much to absorb all at once. It's crazy how this rift just causes a cube to show up. Then after the cube tries to get to the 0 point, monsters, kaijus, more rifts show up, fractures in time, Batman enters the it's crazy. Like, Fortnite has like one of the most powerful universes out there, bro. All because of this 0 point. I remember this too. The bat symbol. Actually, I don't remember this event. I don't think I was here for that. And all of this is just about to get reset from the next event. About to go through another big bang. So is there gonna be another 0 point after that then? Then again, I'm not even halfway through the video, so I don't even know what happened to the original 0 point. Oh, and that's the black hole event that made like 15,000 kids cry. You remember that? Why were people crying over a black hole? Did people really think Fortnite was just gonna end?
By the 0 point, split into 2 pieces of land that sandwich the orb for extra protection.
The 0 point destabilized and the island got reset.
They send agents to survey the area, but quickly they come face to face with their snapshots.
And the boats.
Only one problem: these snapshots are different. They're altered by an evil mad scientist known as Chaos Agent. The scientist belongs to a secret crime syndicate founded by Midas, a powerful and greedy leader. His true power is in the form of the Golden Touch, a curse that was placed on him after he tried to steal the treasures of an ancient king. Despite this, Midas' organization is taken from underneath him as Chaos Agent rises to grab power. With his vast wealth, Midas makes a new organization, Ghost, and its purposes are very different. Instead of committing crime, Ghost becomes a secret agency that spies on the mysterious activities around the island. Quickly, Midas learns about the loop in the Imagined Order, and he is blown away by their evil plans. This causes him to recruit his daughter Jules, who's been a master engineer her entire life.
Oh, I've seen that skin before.
To distract the IO from his plans, he wages war against Shadow to cover up his true intentions, building a device that'll destroy the loop for good.
Oh shit.
The key to doing this is the Storm. It's how the Imagined Order enforced the loop by bringing it in every 22 minutes to kill whoever's left standing.
22 minutes.
By pushing it back, you'll free everyone trapped by its wrath. What he doesn't know is that the Imagined Order is already keeping tabs on him. John Jones is a field agent who's dedicated his life to the Order. Under the oath, he has done covert work on the island hundreds of times, leaving a snapshot every single time he re-enters the loop.
Oh,
Before
snap.
Jones can figure out Midas' plan, it is sprung into action as the Device event.
Device event? I don't remember that. I think I can confidently say I don't remember this one, finally. There were brief periods where I stopped playing Fort. Then the storm's gone.
Midas' plan works, until things get weird. He didn't account for the fact that the storm isn't just lightning, it's alive and controlled by the 0 point.
Oh! I didn't consider that either. Must have already forgot. Damn.
In a defensive reaction, the storm protects itself by creating a giant wall of water.
I remember this.
And over time, the wall collapses, flooding the
island
and
in that
wiping
event.
out Ghost and Shadow's territory. It isn't long before agents...
It's crazy how every event is actually leading up to some lore stuff. Like, they aren't just changing the map to change the map and keep stuff fresh. Because, like, that's what I thought the whole point was.
Jones has to face yet another threat to the IO's reign. Turns out that when the 0 point created this reshaped island...
Your friend did it the event? What are you talking about? What friend?
An enormous amount of energy. In a case of extreme
I know a lot of people.
Got the attention of a being from another universe.
Galactus.
One that we are very familiar with. It is here that crossovers enter the storyline.
And then Marvel characters popped up.
Space is none other than Galactus, Devourer of Worlds. He's drawn to this massive energy surge and is desperate to consume the planet that contains...
That's actually insane how, like, the 0 point is so powerful that beings from the Marvel universe are just, like, trying to steal it. Yeah, Galactus trying to eat the planet for the fucking 0 point in the storm and shit.
This is the Fortnite Island, and because Galactus is from the Marvel Universe, it also brings a whole cast of characters to protect us. If he's able to devour the 0 point, it would destroy reality.
They had Storm in Fortnite? I didn't even know.
Tony Stark to build rift beacons around the map.
What? Wait. They had Iron Man himself actually in the lore creating shit to counteract Galactus? No, that's actually peak. I didn't know that.
Every day, the island's residents see this being get closer, and just before he arrives, the plan is revealed. Tony spent all this time building custom battle buses and fitting them with explosives, cannons,
I
and
didn't get to
lasers,
control
and now
this!
the day has come.
I remember that. Yeah, when this event happened, my controls glitched and I couldn't control the battle buses that were shooting Galactus. So I don't even think I ever got to see this event. It pissed me off so much, and then people were like, move your control stick, you idiot.
And ultimately, he maybe got a little too much power.
Like, I couldn't move my control
away
stick.
For good, and this causes major problems.
Rifted him away for good.
Galactus exposing the 0 point, it has once again started to destabilize. We know this time period as the Zero Crisis, and this time the 7 aren't here to save it. So right now the Imagined Order is panicking, but for a different reason. They don't care if reality breaks down, they just want to make sure nobody jumps into the 0 point and escapes the loop. So they send Agent Jones on a task. He travels through 88 different realities, jump after jump, to recruit the galaxy's best bounty hunters so they can hunt down those trying to leave.
Walking
After
Dead.
spending months on this task, he returns only to find that the 0 point is worse than he left it. He begs his boss, Dr. Sloan, to do something, but she won't listen.
What's the point of recording these logs if you're not gonna listen? We've lost control of the 0 point. Do you get what that means? You must not, because you're doing nothing. I've dedicated my life to the Order. I've given everything. And for what?
And that's why Jonesy
To just sit back and watch reality end? That's
left
not
him.
who we are. At least it's not who I am. Not anymore.
Time is running out and Jones refuses to submit. Instead, he takes matters into his own hands, defecting from the IO for good. And that's when he breaks into the bridge searching for a secret file.
This is Agent Jones requesting access to restricted file 8752. Oh, really? No time to stabilize reality, but plenty of time to revoke my credentials. This is Agent Jones requesting access to all materials related to the 7.
So he's trying to join the 7 and create the 8.
Oh, great! If you're not gonna give me what I need, I'm just gonna have to take it.
So
Yeah, he's
he
gonna
does.
box you
And with
up.
his newfound knowledge, he hops on a battle bus and heads straight for the island, where the 0 point is on the brink of imploding. He rushes through all of the hunters he spent months recruiting and gets there just in time.
Hadouken! Who the hell is that? Nope, just another meteor. Too many meteors, man.
It actually worked.
Oh, and that was when Dwayne Johnson was stuck inside of a meteor?
Look, I know you have no reason to trust me, but... Oh, no. Hang on.
Weave. Mmm.
Geno! I can get you to Geno.
And the sisters?
I can get you all of them. But I need your help to fix that.
Finally, we are introduced to the Foundation, the leader of the 7
Foundation?
who has been rivals with Geno for centuries. Now that Jones has offered to give him Geno, he's actually willing to help protect the 0 point. As it starts to break down, the orb blooms like a flower.
I remember
Jones has
that.
studied it his entire life, but this is the first time he's seen it react like this. Now, there's no time to admire it though. It's destabilized and is already way too far gone to save. The only option now is to contain the blast. The Foundation seals himself in a tower of stone.
So basically,
and the ultimate
Fortnite is just this
sacrifice
battle
tells
to
Jones overload
contain
his
and
photogun,
protect the
leaving
0
them both
point
trapped in
away from the
loop.
Imagined Order, so they can find some way to break this loop and get away from them. I kind of have to condense the story into something understandable for myself because it's too much to absorb all in one go.
It's overtaken by a primal biome as the IO scrambles to maintain control. They bring in the Spire Guardians, who are here to defend the 0 point secrets from ancient hunters such as Raz. He claims that the Spire has been
Razbowski?
calling to him in his dreams, and he traveled here on a mission to learn its mysteries. While tracking down the island's artifacts, he discovers an unseen reality log left behind by Agent Jones.
Listen to the crystal song.
Raz immediately begins searching for the Spire's mysterious crystals, which in turn lead him
Smack
to
the like
ultimate
button when you see your
artifact.
favorite season of
Before we can
Fortnite.
stop Raz, one of Jonesy's snapshots gives us a chilling warning. There are people who think the Spire will make them powerful. It will, but it will also exploit their every weakness. Do not allow the Spire to corrupt someone powerful, or Jones does not stand a chance. Go now before the Spire attracts any more attention from the... Never mind, just hurry. Well, it's already a little too late because Raz has found a crucial artifact that is way too dangerous to wield on his own. This shard is all too familiar. It's a piece of the cube that almost destroyed the island with the corruption still intact.
Oh,
Upon
snap.
wielding it, Raz succumbs to the darkness, becoming aggressive and evil. Now we're able to take it away from him in time, but the damage has already been done. Now before we can discover just how important this key moment was, a comic reveals an extraordinary amount of secrets hidden underneath the island. As a DC crossover, it revolves around Batman, who has been trapped in the loop after investigating a rift in Gotham City. As the world's greatest detective, he is able to prepare an escape plan. With the
universe's greatest.
He escapes the loop by standing in
the universe's greatest detective now.
Center of the storm in the final seconds. Now, free to roam the island out of the loop, he comes across a group of inhabitants. They form an alliance and decide to get out of Reality Zero for good. Only problem is, they can't just swim away, they would disintegrate. And now that they've escaped the loop, there are no second chances. Death is permanent. There's only one way to get home, and it's the same way they got here, through the 0 point. The group is able to unlock one of the metal bunkers on the island and head underground in search of an escape. The room is extremely ancient, protected by massive golems and swarms of IO guards. It's a tough battle, and in the chaos, Fish
I need to read the Batman comic.
Figure. It becomes apparent one of the group is working for the
Can I get another look at that comic panel? Get as much water as you can. Like, I'm just imagining Batman just like panicking over a fish right now.
It becomes apparent
who did this?
One of the group is working for the imagined order. The others still in shock.
Poor Batman.
Carry on.
Deathstroke?
The further they progress, the closer they get to the 0 point. Eternal Voyager, in his desperation to escape, sprints into the orb and immediately gets split into a million pieces. The 0 point cycles through countless realities per second, which killed him instantly.
Damn.
He got his wish, he'll be voyaging for eternity. After hours of discussion, the group figures out how to calibrate the orb. Renegade Raider goes home first before one of the members reveals a dark secret. Deathstroke has been working with the imagined order all along.
Oh shit!
He was the one who killed
Slade?
So
Slade?
into a fight before tying up Deathstroke.
Bro, this is why we don't like Slade, bro. Already defecting with the ops, bro. That's crazy.
And most of the others escape to the 0 point as the Gotham City crew are left standing. Once the 0 point has finally been calibrated to their homeworld, Deathstroke flees to Gotham City as Batman and Catwoman go after him. Once they're home, the men come flooding back.
Bro went into Batman's territory. Like, you're just gonna get your arm snapped as soon as you land, brother.
They may have worked together in the loop, but in their previous lives, they were rivals. More importantly, both of these events have worked together to allow the next phase of the story to progress. Heading all the way back to Raz, his use of the Dark Shard has gotten the wrong kind of attention. This is what Jonesy's snapshot warned us about. So as we look to the sky, UFOs begin to abduct loopers, crop circles appear, and a conspiracy theorist named Mari starts broadcasting about it. She warns the people of the island that aliens are coming, and this is far too dangerous for the IO. More importantly, Dr. Sloan, Agent Jones' boss, is dedicated to shutting down this broadcast, but the invasion has already begun.
I remember this too, blowing up the ship in the fight. Is that Rick? Damn! In the Foundation.
Sloan has no choice but to fight against them in the name of keeping control and maintaining order. The mothership sends a huge army down onto the island known as the Chimera. Their goal, annihilate everyone while the ship above abducts major locations. It moves around taking Slurpy Swamp, Coral Castle, and has its eyes on Holly Hedges. The Chimera also scan Looper's minds in an attempt to locate the 0 point, but Sloan has an epiphany. She's figured out that the imagined order has a mole who is secretly divulging information to the enemy. It's a perfect situation that can be manipulated as she feeds Maven false information. Of course, this gets into the hands of the Chimera, who learn that the IO secret base of operations is at Corny Crops. And
Corny
yes, this
Crops.
is true, but what they don't know is that Sloan has filled the complex with a huge bomb. So right on cue, they move to Corny and abduct the POIs, satisfied that they have cornered the imagined order. Only this is part of a secret plan known as Operation Skyfire, and Sloan recruits loopers, aka
So that's why Sloan was on the ship.
Make sure everything goes smoothly. We break out of prison, making our way through the mothership, which at this point is full of guards and obstacles. Eventually, though, we make our way to the final room, an abduction chamber with Corny Complex and all of the bombs attached to it, primed and ready to go. Satisfied that Operation Skyfire is a near success, Sloan arms the bombs. Well, there's only one problem. The aliens have a last trick up their sleeve.
The cube.
Gone for good. Last time it nearly destroyed the island.
We're able to shut it down, but with 2 minutes left until detonation, Sloan delivers the bad news.
You played your part. Now I have to play mine. We are fighting a war in which we are hopelessly outgunned. I won't bring you home. Not if there is a chance that thing can make it back to the
The
island.
bomb's still ticking on your backs.
Over and out.
And then there's
The
those.
loopers are panicking, desperate for a way.
I hate Fortniters, bro. Like, look at this dude emoting on time too.
And out.
Look at this man
The
emoting.
loopers are panicking, desperate for a way out.
Crying
They
and
approach
shit.
the dying cube and collectively use their power to remove its corruption and restore its purity. Now,
Okay.
okay. Blue, it's on our side until the ground begins to rise. We've been standing on an elevator this entire time, and it was taking us higher and higher into the mothership. Turns out there's one final reveal, a plot twist that would send waves through the Imagined Order's ranks and change our perspective on the story forever. The Chimera didn't bring the cube from Chapter 1. In fact, they're not even the Chimera. That
What?
was just an enslaved army. The true evil is in this room. It is here we meet the last reality.
To have thousands of cubes because they made them. Whole room is lined with them. Look at this. Look at this asshole shrugging. Bombs didn't go off. Or, I mean, the bombs on their backs didn't go off, but the bombs around them are. The last reality.
We may have taken down their mothership, but Sloane's plan backfired. Now all of these cubes have crashed onto the island, and one of them has become the most powerful villain to date. Sure, these are corrupted by a dark evil, but that power is controlled by a sinister character known as the Cube Queen. Exiting her golden shrine, she summons her army of caretakers and cube monsters to fight off the IO forces. Now you gotta understand, the last reality are very different to our villains of the past. Every threat we face has wanted to take control of the 0 point for themselves, aside from Galactus.
But now they want to
This
shatter
move
it.
is extremely worrying. The Cube Queen and her minions want to use a 0 point to destroy everything that has
no.
ever lived.
Never mind.
Because
That-
it's
that-
tethered to all realities, they can eliminate life as we know it in an instant, making them truly the last reality. The Queen's plan has already come into fruition, but she needs the full power of her fleet back home in order to make it work. She sends her army of cubes to the center of the island, directly above the 0 point where they create a pyramid known as the Convergence. Sloane was fooled by the last reality during Operation Skyfire, but knowing what she's up against, it is finally time to put together a real plan, except she doesn't. Instead,
Give me 2 seconds. I just want to make sure Fortnite's not. Okay. Just wanted to make sure Fortnite was not off.
the Imagined Order are more distracted by their newfound prisoner, Agent Jones. After being stuck in the loop, he was arrested for treason, but little
Wow.
do they know, someone else has been discovered too. The Foundation, dropped at the bottom of the ocean, wakes up. Months have passed since he was ejected from the 0 point, and he has no idea where he is. Leaving the ocean, he stumbles across Gotham City, the last place that the 0 point was calibrated to. In this strange world, the Foundation is immediately approached by Batman, who assumes he's a threat. After fighting, they talk it out, where the Foundation reveals that he has sworn enemies with the Imagined Order, and has nothing to do with the loop. They want to take down the IO and liberate the 0 point, just like Batman does. He explains that the 7 have always had an advantage over the IO, because they have the ability to create sideways rifts. This is a way to
Sideways
traverse
rifts.
different realities without the 0 point. This technology was experimented with in Chapter 1 through the rocket launch. The only problem is, it takes a long time for the rift to close, making it extremely risky. On the other hand, the IO doesn't know how to do this. They need to use pure portals, basically the ones opened by their guns. Learning all of this, Batman agrees to help the Foundation return home. Once back, he realizes that he needs to find
The queue waiting screen? What queue waiting screen? Huh? I'm supposed to be in a waiting screen? Chat? Help? Oh, was I meant to be in these? Sorry for anybody who's watching this after I posted on YouTube. I didn't know if I was supposed to be in a waiting screen. They didn't do this last time. Oh, I don't even think the queue's up because it's supposed to start at 1:30 p.m. I think we're set.
Jones immediately. A lot has changed since being thrown from the spire, but before then, he must update the other members of the 7 and figure out a plan to stop the last reality. Sloane and the Imagined Order have never cared about the fate of the island. As long as they maintain control of the orb, everyone dying, it's perfectly okay. It's happened time and time again, like the Zero Crisis or the Final Showdown, but the 7, as usual, have to swoop in and save the day.
The last reality is at hand!
Oh, and I remember that. She opened a rift to the other aliens.
Wake him up. You just had to be the hero, Jones. You know what happens to heroes?
They, live to fight another day?
Not this time. Do it.
Hey Siri, who voices Sloan in Fortnite?
Personal, Jones. Although I do plan to enjoy it.
Never mind, she sounded familiar.
See what that is.
And then Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, when I made that famous meme. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson! I still can't believe Dwayne Johnson added me in one of his videos.
I got over it.
That shit was hilarious.
You came back for me.
You promised me Jeno.
Well, love you too.
So that's why he said you promised me Jeno. I didn't understand at the time.
Everyone follow me to the
I thought
bridge.
bro was
We'll be
just
safe
yapping.
there.
And I know this part too.
Don't worry, guys. I'll move the.
I'll try to commit the Fortnite lore to memory, but I don't be playing throughout the season like that to be paying attention. But basically,
I know another way.
don't let the 0 point into the wrong hands.
Careful.
Break the IO's loop, break the IO in general. Stop the last reality from happening. Don't let them get the 0 point.
Where's my gun?
Liberate the 0 point.
Okay, I may have dropped it in the 0 point.
Why does she make me keep saving you?
The game mode is open now. I don't want to leave Fortnite because I've never had to restart the game to join the game mode. What's the game mode called? Like Big Bang or something? Disabled. The queue's disabled. IO versus the 7. The Big Bang. All right. Hang on, this is going to be a part of the video I post on YouTube. I guess. I think I could watch while the queue's going.
Well, what about that?
Get ready to swim.
I remember that skin. I remember this too. The island flipped upside down. Cube Queen got flattened. The Zero War. Temporary offline. Looks like the battle buses headed out are full. Give it another shot in a few minutes. Fuck you mean? It just started, bro.
The island has flipped. The Imagined Order have been caught by total surprise, but so were the 7. Their plan to take back control of the island has been stopped short by the caretaker breaching the wall, and because of this, their hiding spot for the past 4 years has been revealed. This whole time, they were living on the other side of the island at a place named Sanctuary, where they could keep their friends close, but enemies closer. Now, this peaceful retreat has been exposed to the Imagined Order, who are furious and already planning their counterattack. The 7 and IO have been at each other's throats, but never took full-scale action.
Wait.
The other side hiding spot for the past 4 years, the island has been stopped short by the caretaker breaching the wall, and because of this, their hiding spot for the package flipped. The Imagined Order have been caught by total surprise, but so were the 7. Their plan to take back control of the island has been stopped short. This whole time they were living on the other side of the island at a place named Sanctuary.
I was so mad I lost track.
Keep their friends close, but enemies closer. Now this
The 7's been under the whole island the whole time?
Who are furious and already planning their counterattack.
Dog.
The 7 and IO have been at each other's throats, but never took full-scale action.
Like, the queue just started. How the hell is it already full? Why would they... Why would they start the queue minutes early? So then we have issues like this. They should have just started it at 1:30.
Action against each other until now, where the tension has reached boiling point, and
So now the IO is boxing with the 7.
As the 7 recruit as many loopers as possible, the IO already has them outgunned. Other members of the team join the fight, such as the Origin, who is drafting up battle plans to push back against the army. He has one of the most interesting backstories in the 7. Once known as the Cube King, he ultimately realized that their dark energy could only be used for evil, so he escaped, leaving his identity behind for a new life. He was captured by the Imagined Order shortly afterwards, who tortured him for answers, but one day, the 7 broke in and rescued him. He walked out of that prison with a new name, the Origin, and has been their field tactician ever since. But he's not the only member with an intriguing life. The Order and the Imagined are the sisters that Foundation asked Jones to find. We don't know how they were reunited, but both of them are available to help in the war against their father, Geno.
What?
The Imagined has been spending her entire life trying to take revenge on her father. As children, he genetically modified them to be perfect warriors with immortality and super strength. Reality was their playground, but one day, things changed in an instant. One of the members of his inner circle offered him a bed. Could the sisters become the first ever to escape the loop, and how long would it take? Geno was confident, but his obsession with perfection was also their downfall. The sisters did end up escaping the loop, but not fast enough, and when they returned home, the loop had created snapshots. Only these versions were more brutal, and Geno had a realization. He replaced his own daughters with more powerful snapshots, forcing the sisters to turn their backs on him and join the 7 under new names.
Damn.
However, despite being twins, they have very different motives. The Order wants to help destroy the loop and give people their freedom, while the Imagined simply wants revenge. Despite all of this manpower, there's only one person left who could help win the fight, and
Dog, are you fucking serious? Oh my god. Come on with this shit, bro. I sat here all day just to be disconnected from Fortnite. And I probably can't even go back in the fucking game. I'm reacting to somebody else's stream if this happens, bro. Hang on, I'm reopening it right now. You can keep watching the video.
and she crashed onto the ice moon years ago.
I
Yes,
hate
the scientist is
companies.
adamant that reaching
I hate
Paradigm
companies
will
so
turn the tide
much.
in their favor. As far as the others are concerned, Paradigm is dead and a traitor, yet the scientist always held out hope. He's in love with her and is desperate to see her again. After breaking through to her, turns out she's alive but trapped inside the mech. To convince the others, scientist tells him that he was talking with the AI in her suit instead. At that same time, Sloane is busy on her counterattack. With the Loopers rally behind the Seven, she realizes they're losing the battle and decides on a more destructive plan. Instead of wasting resources by fighting on land, she calls up her Doomsday department and begins working on a device known as the Collider. Yeah, the same one that was going to be used during the final showdown before Paradigm talked them out of it. If it destroys the Seven for good, Sloane will stop at nothing to achieve that goal. The Order hears about these plans and
Dude,
tells the
fuck!
others. The rescue mission is a go, not for Paradigm, but for her mech, which will be essential to destroying the Collider and winning the Zero War. Before they could do that, they need a powerful energy in order to power the mech, called the Zero Shard. In a secret mission, the Seven sneak into the bridge with the help of Agent Jones, who explores the wreckage. He finds his old office, which is now upside down, and picks up a framed photo. It's of his wife and kids, which he left behind hundreds of years ago. You see, when you join the Imagined Order, you swear an oath, and in return are granted immortality. Your family can also take this offer, but they need to live on the island, and Jones's family refused to do that, despite living on a dangerous homeworld. As a result, they weren't immortal and only had protection. They lived to ripe old ages, as Jones was forced to watch his wife die. As his kids got older too, he told the Imagined Order that he wanted to go back and grow old, dying with his grandchildren that he barely knew. He was just too useful to Sloane by then, and she reminded him that if he quit, his family would lose the protection on their homeworld. So he stayed, for descendants he has never met. Now that is eating him up inside, and as he dwells on it, the mission must continue. They continue their search for the Zero Shard, eventually finding out that it's located on the Ice Moon. Perfect, they can crush two birds with one stone. Well, that's until they approach a frozen castle, something that has remained undisturbed for a very long time. As the crew walk inside, they find a room full of artifacts, ancient weapons frozen in pillars, and at the end of the corridor, the Ice King, who reveals his true intentions after all this time. Greetings, visitors. To reach my throne room alive is an achievement indeed. Uncounted ages ago, brave allies and I began collecting items of power, things and beings too dangerous to exist. My worst fears were realized when my staunchest comrade argued for using these items to alter realities to our liking. I was forced to freeze him, my other knights, and all we had acquired. So yes, this explains why the Ice King and Fire King were at war with each other, despite the fact that they used to share a round table. He wasn't a prisoner because of a small disagreement. The Ice King was protecting reality this entire time. The reason the Ice Moon is so uninhabitable is because it was designed that way, so he could be isolated for all time. Now that they're standing in his impenetrable fortress, their presence here proves they are too dangerous to remain free. But before they can be wiped out by the Ice King, a familiar face shows up, Paradigm. She grabs them and destroys the castle. We're headed back to the island one way or another. The Zero War is about to end.
Crew to battle stations.
I'm a little annoyed. Should piss me off.
Don't have much time to hit the collider. Clear a path.
Fish Fighter Stormy 172.
Legend? I thought you were on the case.
Yeah, nothing we can't handle. Just as soon as we figure it out.
All enemy forces have been eliminated. This is our chance. Divert power to blade strike. Hold on!
So that's why this event happened.
In the wreckage, the final battles commence. Dr. Sloan is the Seven's last obstacle before reaching the collider.
Sloan, you don't have to do this.
Always so dramatic. Any last words, Jones?
Damn.
With Sloan out of the picture, the Order and the Imagine look up, only to spot their father, Geno.
Oh,
He's here
wow.
to personally face off against them and gets the Order in a chokehold. This is ridiculous. You're still my blood. Just ask and I'll let you live. Send you somewhere safe. Little does he know, the Imagine is...
Hang on. Gotta reopen Fortnite. This is actually some bullshit, dude. I get kicked out for no reason.
very interested. I have a better idea. We'll set you somewhere, Father, everywhere. And one last sacrifice, the Imagine decides that killing Geno is worth the cost. She gets her final wish, tackling him straight into the 0 point, and as it cycles through countless realities, they are both ripped apart, atoms scattered across the Omniverse.
Who is that?
The 0 point is focused on Geno. This is our best chance to find him.
Let's go!
All right, it's up to you now. We don't have much time. Don't worry, I got you.
Jones and the Foundation chase Geno, not expecting to see him fading away. Imagine has died in his arms, and he's slowly passing too. Geno has one final message for the Foundation. You always believed my methods were abhorrent, that you knew a better way. Congratulations, and now you get to prove it. I genuinely hope you're right, because if you fail, it means the end of everything. I have to go now. I have to admit, it's good to lay my burden down after all this time. It'll be nice to rest. He fades into nothing. Geno is dead, and the Imagined Order have been defeated. The Zero War is over, and they won. Celebrations across the island spread like wildfire. Now the 0 point is finally liberated. It can blossom, nature takes over, but not everything is as it seems. The orb starts sending out distress signals, and strange relics begin to appear around the island. The scientist is confused. They can't understand why it's doing this. But it's all the work of a villain hiding in the shadows, a herald who is secretly using the 0 point to search across the Omniverse.
I remember
In
that
her
name,
search,
the
she
Herald.
finds the Nothing. This is a truly evil presence that gives her the dark power of Chrome, and it's about to be unleashed upon the island in the name of her old friends, the Last Reality.
So the Herald came and chromed everybody. That was what that happened. That was.
With Geno out of the way and the seven
That was the purpose for that.
Everyone, the scientist, Origin, and a whole lot more are devoured, turned into Chrome, while Paradigm is the sole survivor. The only thing she can do is return to her homeworld, creating a plan that'll bring her friends back and save reality. Except Chrome is just too powerful.
Jeez. Does Fortnite stream their own events with no commentary? Who streams with no commentary for these events? Let me know in the chat. Actually, some bullshit that I could sit up here all day and then the shit doesn't work.
The Herald destroys the island to expose Zero Point, ready for the last reality to swoop in and take it. Lucky for us, in a surprising turn of events, the Zero Point protects itself, destroying the mothership and fleeing. It's here that Paradigm comes into play. Using Zero Fusion, she's able to work with the orb and rebuild the island. Grabbing from countless realities to form a new world, everything is pieced back together.
When does Fortnite do no commentary? Are they streaming it right now?
With the 7 turned to chrome and the imagined order gone, it is time for a fresh start. Gone, it is time for a fresh start.
So basically the 7 are gone
On
too.
this new island, the scientist robot assistant, Amy,
Everyone's
leaves us with
gone.
a final message from
fuck?
Paradigm. She asks us to deliver a mysterious kinetic ore to the one who lives in this medieval castle. We do so, learning that its ruler is the Ageless, a young king
Ageless.
who looks a little too familiar. The reality was brought to the island during Zero Fusion, and it becomes apparent who this actually is.
Don't worry, Fortnite will replay the event 2 times after the first one happens because there's a lot of people in the game right now. Wait, so Fortnite's actually gonna replay it? That's what they said on Twitter or something?
Judging from the banners, his appearance, and obsession with perfection, we're looking at Geno. Well, a snapshot of him. This is the ruler of the Oathbound who was left in Geno's place when he abandoned his homeworld. His right-hand man is Stellan the Rift Warden, who wishes to create a bridge to new realities. It wasn't possible with their medieval technology until they were brought to the island and discovered kinetic ore. With our refined version, they have unlocked the power to create pure portals. Yes, the origins of the Imagined Order are replaying themselves in real time, and the ore was a big help. But Stellan can't make this portal without another influence. A voice that guides him every step of the way. He kept this to himself, terrified of what he would do if he disobeyed their orders.
There is a being, a shapeless man. He watches us with dark purpose. If we do not finish the rift gate, the consequences will be terrible.
The final step in building this bridge to realities is deep in the forest, a bronze vault made to protect the Zero Point. Of course, you need this power in order to make pure portals, and the voice in Stellan's head shows in the way. Except, it's quickly becoming obvious that this rift gate wasn't made to connect realities. It's a portal leading to the Shapeless Man. More importantly, his voice in Stellan's head has dark intentions, and his identity could already be known. Only one man has the overwhelming power to rebuild himself atom by atom, the real Geno. Turns out that after the Foundation and Jones left him to die, this wasn't the end of his story. And while he remains shapeless, he's directing his original kingdom to bring him back to the island. At least that's the intention. So Amy begins an investigation of her own as we send test subjects through the gate. They return disfigured or corrupted by darkness. It seems that everything Amy sends through the portal immediately goes searching for him as he is her creator. But when they return, they give us an update on the fate of the 7.
He's different now. They're all different now. As we speak, they changed its scope of his existence anew. A fate darker than the worst imaginable. You'll find him. Or will you get there in time to save him?
The Foundation once said that their armor keeps them alive in different realities, even the nothing beyond them. But after being devoured by Chrome, they're different now, slowly losing themselves to the darkness. Amy, as a robot, is programmed to protect the scientist and does everything in her power to save him. She prepares a rescue mission with a new body and goes to the Rift Gate. This will be the last time we see Amy. Instead, the portal begins to destabilize, bringing more realities to the island before breaking down and closing. The resulting earthquakes cause the ground to collapse on itself, revealing this abandoned world. The Shapeless Man's plan failed, but there's another villain around the corner and he will change the storyline as we know it forever. Before that happens, we look deep into the jungle where our mind is blown. In the wreckage of a crush tank, Dr. Sloan emerges.
Oh, hell no.
She survived the Zero War and is confused by how she got here. However, it's not long before she gets her bearings and begins to investigate this strange ancient world. In the ruins, she finds markings that predict the future, along with an apparatus used by those who lived here thousands of years ago. She had no idea what happened to this society. They were an advanced civilization who used the stars to project the future, and yet they vanished without a trace. The markings seem to show an incoming eclipse that'll bring the end of the world. But with further research, Sloan realizes that this phenomenon isn't natural. How could the ancients predict this with the stars if it wasn't a natural event? There's only one explanation: it has already happened before. They're warning us that soon it'll happen again. So Sloan realizes the signal is all too familiar and calls an old friend for backup. Just like that, it's time for the eclipse to arrive.
I think I found the no commentary
As the daylight's
stream.
covered and the island is shrouded in darkness, Kato Thorne makes himself known. He's a vampire who's made a whole career collecting various artifacts from across reality. On the surface, he runs a successful hotel resort business, but in the shadows, Kato has a time machine. He uses this to travel through history, collecting relics and treasures for his own personal collection, such as Oro's skull, Midas' severed hand, and an ancient calendar which seemed to have ties to the Seven. Now, he's arrived in 2023 at the perfect opportunity for Sloan to pull off a daring heist. She's abandoned the imagined order, or what's left of it, realizing the error of her ways, or so we think, as she keeps to herself and focuses on this mysterious plan. Phase 1 of this operation involves stealing the time machine from under Kato Thorne's nose. She hires a group of professional thieves to pull off the heist of a century as they sneak into his mansion and get away without a problem. Before Kato can retaliate and feast on his prey, he has even bigger worries. As a time-traveling vampire, he has made a lot of enemies, especially hunters like Shimmerdusk, who have spent years chasing him. Now, without the time machine as an escape route, Kato is left defenseless, and she slays her arch-nemesis once and for all. With Kato dead and the device in Sloan's hands, it's time for Phase 2. They experiment with the machine at a temporary headquarters, bringing artifacts from 2018 to their front yard. It functions as intended, and Sloan is confident that this will work. She just needs a helping hand from an old acquaintance, Agent Jones. He's laid low after the Zero War, but with Sloan's influence, she persuades him to go on her secret mission, to go to the past. His goal is to extract an unknown thing or person without changing the timeline. So they set the date, July 12, 2018, and Jones begins his journey. All that's there to guide him are audio logs left.
Is that
by
why
Sloan,
OG
as she
Fortnite's
sends
happening?
Messages from the future back in time with a deadly reminder.
Everything you do will ripple forward to this very moment. You're back here for a reason. And it's not to change the future, by the way. Drop that fantasy right now. This is an extraction, and you're leading the way.
Well, despite this, Jones has started to alter the timeline. The Ice King and his prisoner never arrive in the island. The mech never gets constructed.
So learning all of this is basically useless.
Jones ties the time machine to the scientist's
kidding.
rocket. The future, for the first time, is unknown.
This is the first time in countless lifetimes that I don't know what happens next. We're both heading off into the unknown. I guess this is goodbye for this me and that you.